Dear students, today we are going to discuss about the systems of human body. Okay, what are the different systems of our human body? Human body, it is made up of 11 systems. Okay, first one is a skeletal system. Skeletal system which consists of bones and cartilages. Okay, bones and cartilages. See here in this image, this one is a skeletal system. This diagram shows the skeletal system. Then second one is a muscular system. It consists of muscles, different types of muscles. Then lymphatic system, then respiratory system, digestive system, nervous system, endocrine system, cardiovascular system, urinary system, reproductive system, and integumentary system. Okay, these are the different systems of human body. So today we are going to see the details of the skeletal system. Means today we are going to discuss about the bones. How many bones are there? What are they? Where it is seen? Okay. So skeletal system, it is made up of 206, around 206 bones. Okay, these bones can be classified into two categories: axial skeleton and appendicular skeleton. Okay, axial skeleton, which includes the skull, vertebral column, ribs, and sternum. See, this is what the axial skeleton. Axial skeleton is made up of skull. See, this one is a skull, then vertebral column. Okay, cervical vertebrae are there, thoracic vertebra, then lumbar vertebra, sacrum, coccygeal vertebra. Okay, so this is a vertebral column. This vertebra which is connected to this flat bone, this is the sternum by these ribs. So these are the bones of axial skeleton: skull bone, or skull, then vertebral column, sternum, and the ribs. Now we are going to see the details of the skull. Skull, it is having a brain box, or the calvaria, or the brain box, okay, or the cranium. Then facial skeleton. Then below the skull there we can see the hyoid bone. Then inside the temporal bone we can see the ear-ossicles. So these are the bones forming the skull. Roughly we can say that these are the bones forming the skull. Okay. First one is the cranium, or the brain box. See here in this image, we can see this is the brain box, or the calvaria, or the cranium. Okay, see this area, this is what the brain box. This brain box is made up of 8 bones. Okay, some of them are paired, some of them are unpaired. See what are the paired bones? This bone, this is the temporal bone. Okay, see temporal bone. See this bone. This one is a temporal bone. So one paired bone is temporal bone. Another paired bone is parietal bone. Parietal bone. So here in this image we can see the temporal bone of right side and parietal bone of the same right side. Okay, so right parietal bone and the right temporal bone. So opposite the here left temporal and left parietal will be there. Okay. So anyway, these are the two paired bones. Now unpaired bones. See this one, this frontal bone. This is a frontal bone. Then posteriorly here we are having the occipital bone. Then here comes the sphenoid bone. Then between the frontal and this is sphenoid. So sphenoid bone. Between the frontal and the sphenoid there comes a ethmoid bone. Those are the unpaired bones. So these bones forms a brain box. So this is what the brain box, or box for the brain. Okay, or the calvaria. So this is what the bones of the brain box. Now here, this area, this is what the facial skeleton, or skeleton of the face. Okay, see cranium, 8 bones. We already identified the 8 bones. Some of them are paired, some of them are unpaired. Now facial skeleton, which is made up of 14 bones. Now we have to see what are the bones forming the facial skeleton. See here, what are the paired bones and what are the unpaired bones? See here we are having the nasal bone. It's a paired bone. First we'll see the paired bones. This one is a nasal bone. Okay, then inside the nasal cavity, see here in this image, these two are the right and left nasal bones. Inside the nasal cavity there we can see 2 bones, inferior nasal concave. See this one is one side of inferior nasal concave, this is a opposite side inferior nasal concave. Okay, so nasal bone, Below that, inferior nasal concave. Then behind the nasal bone, see here in this image, this is the nasal bone. Behind the nasal bone, here we can see the maxilla. Behind that, there comes a lacrimal bone. See, lacrimal bone. Third one is a lacrimal bone. So nasal bone, inferior nasal concave, then lacrimal bone. Here in this image, here comes a lacrimal bone inside the orbit. This is the orbit. Okay, where we can see the eyeball. Okay, so lacrimal bones, nasal bones, right and left nasal bones, then lacrimal bones, inferior nasal concave. Not only that, maxilla, right and left maxilla. See, these two bones are known as what? Maxilla. See, here we can see the right side maxilla. Maxilla. Clear. Now, right and left zygomatic bone. This one is zygomatic bone. Here in this image, the right zygomatic bone, left zygomatic bone. Okay. Then inside there we can see inside the oral cavity or inside the nasal cavity there comes a palate. Okay, this one nasal cavity is separated from the oral cavity by a plate known as the palate. So there we can see the palatine bone. So those are the paired bones. We'll discuss it again. What are they? Nasal bone, then maxilla, behind that lacrimal bone, inferior nasal concave, palatine bone. Then zygomatic bones, right and left zygomatic bones. Then unpaired bones of the facial skeleton. See here we can see the nasal septum. That nasal posterior part of the nasal septum is formed by a bone known as a vomer bone. Vomer bone. Then lower jaw is formed by the mandible. Okay, so these are the unpaired bones. Okay, so what are the unpaired bones? Mandible. Here, this is the side view of the mandible. This one is the anterior view of the mandible, and the vomer bone, which forms the nasal septum. Those are the two unpaired bones. Paired bones, what are they? Maxilla, zygomatic bone, nasal bone, lacrimal bone, inferior nasal bone, palatine bones. So these are the bones of the skull. So, okay. So here cranium or brain box, it is made up of 8 bones. Face or facial skeleton, it is made up of 14 bones. Then below this, there we can see one bone, that means a hyoid bone. It is not there in the diagram. See, almost here, below the mandible, here in this region, there we are having a C-shaped or a U-shaped bone, that is a hyoid bone. Then ear ossicles, malleus in the sand states. Okay, where it is seen inside the temporal bone. See, this is our temporal bone. Inside the temporal bone, then we are having this ear ossicles. See, malleus in the status of right side, then malleus in the status of left side. These are the bones of the skull. So total 29 bones are there. Now vertebral column. This vertebral column is made up of 26 vertebrae. What are the 26 vertebrae? See here, in the cervical region, there we can see 7 cervical vertebrae. See, cervical vertebrae, 7 cervical vertebrae are there. In the thoracic region, there we can see 12 thoracic vertebrae. Thoracic vertebrae, 12 are there. Then lumbar vertebrae, 5 are there. Then sacrum, it's a bony piece, it's a bony mass. That is what the sacrum. This sacrum, it is made up of 5 sacral vertebrae. Means 5 sacral vertebrae joined together to form a single bony mass. Now this single bony mass, it is known as the sacrum. So sacrum we are considering. Now we are considering as a single vertebrae. Okay. Actually, it is made up of 5 vertebrae. 5 vertebrae joined together to form this sacrum. Okay, then below the sacrum, there we can see another bony piece, that one is the coccyx. Okay, coccyx, it is made up of 4 coccygeal vertebrae. 4 coccygeal vertebrae joins together to form the coccyx. Okay, so these are the 26 vertebrae. So vertebral column, it is made up of these 26 vertebrae. Actually, not 26, around 33 vertebrae are there. So here 5, here 4. Here 5 joined together to form a single piece. So we are considering it as a single vertebrae now. Here 4 vertebrae joined together to form a single piece. Here also, instead of 4, here we are taking just 1. Okay. So anyway, 7 cervical vertebrae, 12 thoracic vertebrae, 5 lumbar vertebrae, then sacrum, coccyx. In that case, we are having only 26 vertebrae, otherwise we are having 33 vertebrae. Then sternum. Okay, sternum. What is that sternum? See, this bony piece. Okay, this flat bone which is in the anterior part of the thorax, it is a sternum. Sternum is we'll discuss the details later. Then ribs. We are having 12 pairs of ribs. See here, right side we are having 12 ribs, left side also 12 ribs. That means 24 ribs. So 24 ribs, then sternum, vertebral column, skull. All together known as what? Axial skeleton. So axial skeleton is made up of total 80 bones. Now this is what the axial skeleton. Where axial skeleton is made up of skull, vertebral column, sternum, ribs. Okay. Now we are moving to the appendicular skeleton. See here in this image, this is the sternum and these are the ribs. Now appendicular skeleton. Appendicular skeleton means it forms the skeleton of the appendix. Appendages, not appendix, appendages. Okay, appendages in the sense upper limb and lower limb. See here, these are the bones forming the upper limb. What are they? See here in the shoulder region. See here we can see the clavicle, and this one is a scapula. See clavicle. So here we can see only one clavicle here in this diagram. So opposite side also one more clavicle will be there. So two clavicles, two scapula. We are having two upper limbs. Okay. So clavicle two are there, scapula two are there. Identify the clavicle. See this collarbone. Clavicle is otherwise known as the collarbone. So this is what the clavicle. And this bone, which is in posterior or behind the ribs, that one is a scapula. This is almost triangular shaped bone. That one is a scapula. So clavicle, scapula. Then this bone, it is known as a humerus. It forms a skeleton of the arm. Okay, so humerus. So right and left humerus. Here we are having the right humerus. Then opposite side left humerus also will be there. So two humerus. Then radius. This lateral one. This is a radius. And ulna, which forms these two bones forms a skeleton of the forearm. See here comes the forearm. I already told you about the parts of the upper limb. See here comes the arm. Then this one is a forearm. So forearm, it is made up of this radius and a ulna. So total two radius will be there, two ulna will be there. Then here we can see the carpal bones. Okay, here 8 carpals will be there with 2 rows. Proximal row or first row contain 4, second row contain 4. Okay, so here 8 carpals will be there in one upper limb. So total 8 plus 8, 16 carpal bones. Okay, see these are the carpal bones. What are they? See, scaphoid. This bone it is known as scaphoid. Then lunate, trichondrum. On the trichondrum there we can see another small bone that was a pisiform. So scaphoid, lunate, trichondrum, pisiform. Then trapezium, trapezoid, capitate, and hamate. These are the bones of the wrist joint, or these are the bones of the wrist. Okay, here we can see total 8 bones. Proximal or first row contain 4, second row also contain 4. Okay, what are the bones? Once again, scaphoid, then lunate, trichondrum. On the trichondrum, we can see a small pear-shaped bone that was a pisiform. Then second row, trapezium, trapezoid, capitate, and hamate. See, proximal row or first row, then distal row, second row. Clear. So these are the carpal bones. So carpal bones, total 16 bones are there. Then metacarpals. See these short long bones. These bones are the metacarpal bones. Okay, so here 5 are there. So total right and left total 10 bones will be there. Metacarpals. Then phalanges. After the metacarpals, see here we can see the phalanges. These small bones. Here in the thumb we are having only two phalanges. The remaining fingers there we are having 3 phalanges. Okay, so total 28 phalanges are there. So these are the bones of the upper limb. Once again, clavicle, scapula, humerus, radius, ulna, carpal bones, metacarpal bones, then after that phalanges. Phalanges which forms the skeleton of the fingers. Okay. Now lower limb. Okay, what are the bones forming the skeleton of the lower limb? See, first pelvic bone or hip bone. See, right and left pelvic bone. So two pelvic bones are there. This one is the left side pelvic bone. This one is the right side pelvic bone here. Two pelvic bones joins here. Okay, so pelvic bone or hip bone, two. Then femur. See, here we are having the left side femur. Opposite right side femur also will be there. So two femurs are there. Femur, two bones. Then fibula and tibia. What is mean by fibula? Correspond to the radius and ulna. Here we are having tibia. This one is a tibia, and this one is a fibula. So those bones form the skeleton of the leg. Skeleton of the leg is formed by these two bones, tibia and fibula. Okay. So total four will be there: two fibula and two tibia. Then patella. You see here in the anterior part of the knee joint, here we can see a small triangular shaped bone. This one is a patella. So femur, patella, tibia, fibula. Then here, instead of there in the upper limb, there we saw the carpal bones. Here we are having the tarsal bones. Okay, instead of carpals, here we are having the tarsal bones. So tarsal bones. Total 7 bones are there. What are the tarsal bones? See this one, calcaneum, which I want to say. It is the lowermost bone here. Then thallus, calcaneum, then thallus, navicular, cuboid. Then 3 cuneiform bones, medial, intermediate, and lateral. So 3 cuneiform bones, navicular, cuboid, thallus, calcaneum. These are the tarsal bones. Okay, so 7 tarsal bones will be there on each side. Then 5 metatarsals. Okay, first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. Okay, so 5 metatarsals. Then comes the phalanges. So here also phalanges 28, metatarsal stands, tarsus here 14. So these are the bones of the lower limb. Okay, so just an outline about the skeletal system. Skeletal system is made up of bones as well as the cartilages. Both are there. So bones and the cartilages, here we are saying only the bones. Okay, what are the bones forming the skeletal system? Skeletal system can be divided into axial skeleton and appendicular skeleton. Axial skeleton is having two parts. So the axial skeletal system is having two parts: axial skeleton and appendicular skeleton. Axial skeleton is made up of skull, vertebral column, sternum, and ribs. Then appendicular skeleton, skeleton of the upper limb and skeleton of the lower limb. Okay, so this is just a brief outline about the skeletal system.